وأفضل الصلوات وأتم التسليم على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. تقبل الله أعمالكم وصيامكم. Initially, we had planned that we're going to be speaking about 5 virtues and then 5 vices. But because there's been an extending of the program, so inshallah I'll be speaking until I think Tuesday, I don't know, Wednesday maybe, or just before I leave you, which I'm sure everyone's going to be very happy when I leave. I thought that I should speak about sabr, patience, which is extremely, extremely important to look into. Everything that I've spoken about in the last couple of nights are things that you need to develop, things that you need to pick up on, things that you need to learn. They're not inherent within you. They're not something that, you just wish for and it happens. No, it's a skill that you have to pick up on and learn about. It's something that you have to test yourself with. It's something that you will be regularly tested with as well. Being fair, being truthful, being wise, being chaste, and tonight, being patient. So, I don't even think that we need to explain what sabr and patience is. Very straightforward, very, very obvious, isn't it? We, of course, as human beings, know that we interact with other human beings. As they say, al-insan madaniyun bil-taba'. By our nature, we like to interact with other people. But not every person has the same mazaj and same manners. Not every person is going to be treating you the same way as you treat them. Not every person has that same sincerity or akhlaq or behavior that you have. So there is always going to be conflict between you and someone else. Not only that, there are going to be times where you don't know the situation that you are in, and therefore something is going to happen suddenly, out of nowhere, spontaneously, without any muqaddimat. What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with this person that you have conflict with? What are you going to do in the case that you are faced with a situation that came about suddenly out of nowhere? A freak accident, mathalan, for example. How about in things to do with your daily life and your activities and your routine that you have? In everything that you do, there's going to be some kind of struggle, some kind of challenge, some kind of difficulty. And the one thing that will make you pass all of this is patience. Patience. Inna Allaha ma'al sabirin. Allah is with those who are patient. And that's why the Quran speaks about sabr and sabirin a lot, because of how important of a virtue patience is. And unfortunately, you only need to look at YouTube or the news channel and the violence around you and road rage for you to see that people have Very, very low level of patience. Domestic violence as well, very low level of patience. Your wife, for example, happens to do something, add a little bit of milk, or do this or do that, the lamest of reasons, and then the husband becomes like a Thor with horns coming out, steaming. I'm not going to talk about anger tonight. I'm going to be talking about anger as one of the vices. But look at the face of an angry person. They look different to how they normally look. They look very different. Because shaitan yurkab ala rasa. Shaitan, they become overwhelmed by shaitan. Which is why they turn red, and shaitan is red. Is he? We don't know. Patience is really, really important for us to learn and to develop, especially at times of anger. Which is why the Quran says, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْضَ. Those who suppress their anger. Those who suppress their anger. It's natural for you to get angry, and sometimes you have to get angry, especially when it comes to defending your haqq, especially when it comes to discipline, especially when it comes to your religion, your values, within boundaries. Yani someone beeped, someone beeped a horn for you. Yeah. What about the black there? Someone beeped a horn, right? Someone beeped a horn at you. It's only been 2 seconds when the light turned green, and someone behind you, mustajil, they beeped the horn at you. Road rage. Your fumes start coming out of your ears. You know how like in the cartoons, and you get angry and you want to go there and you want to... I've seen it with my own eyes. Once there was a Qari Quran. I was in one of the centers, and there was a Qari Quran that read the Quran, and then we coincidentally left together. Wallahi, Giddam Aini Sar, right here on Woodville Road, in front of my eyes. The Qari Quran got out, and the person in front of him, and hit him. We're back in the car. And I said, Allah yataqabbal your qira'ah. Alaykum salam, Sayyid. Black socks. So... what's patience? What's that Quran reciting doing to this person? If, over a beeping of a horn, a person just loses control. Or someone offends you and swears at you, calls you terrorist, you're wearing a rag. What do people usually say these days? Why don't you marry a goat? That's what they say about Arabs and that, right? Go back to your country. 4 eyes. I'm trying to think of nice abusive words to say to you people, but because of the live broadcasting, I have to be very careful. But you all know what I'm talking about. Or do I need to give more examples? You're all as evil as Mr. Maliki, who wants to stab people. Patience is really, really important. And you will be tested. And you will be tested. All of you will be tested. That's why the ta'rif, the definition for patience is dabtun nafs. That you grasp and control over your nafs. That you endure difficulty for the sake of greater goods. And that you always keep your hood. Keep your hood. Is that what they say? Keep your hood? Have you heard that expression before? Keep your hood. Keep your hood. Now look it up. Keep your hood. No, not head, hood. Yani the hood of your car, mathalan, keep it on. Don't let it fly off because of all the steam coming out. Right? And look what it says down the bottom in this cartoon. You have to learn to be patient. I want to be patient now. I was just talking to someone about wanting to talk about sabr in your life as far as your future plans are concerned. A lot of people don't have patience. A lot of people want things happening straight away. They want shortcuts. How are they able to get the degree faster? How are they able to get money faster? They get degree, they start cheating. Money faster, they go get to know the wrong people, the wrong crowd, and then they started getting involved in gangs and drugs and this and that because they want to get quicker cash. What about building that foundation that you need to have as far as your ilm? That's why for ilm, the key to ilm is sabr. The key to ilm is sabr. If I give you a misconception, or I say to you right now, I say, I don't believe in God, because if God exists, he would be a good God. How could God be a good God if he allows close to 100,000 people to die in less than 1 minute? The earthquake that happened in Turkey and Syria. Therefore, I don't believe in God. Ya Allah Ta'ala, answer me in 1 minute that God does exist. You can't. You need to have the patience. It's very easy for me to throw a misconception at you. It takes me a very short period of time. But for answering, for listening, for knowledge, for true knowledge, genuine knowledge, it needs a lot of hawsala and a lot of tahammul and a lot of sabr. And most people don't have that. That's why most people are not interested in ilm and talab al-ilm. Are not interested in ilm and talab al-ilm. A lot of people want shortcuts. And we see that very, very regularly. Someone says, I want to do this, I want to do that. Well, you have to study the muqaddimat, you have to study the preliminary basis, the foundation, in order for you to get to higher stages and whatnot. You can't all of a sudden become a surgeon if you haven't studied, for example, how to change a filter in a car. You can't. I was waiting for someone to say something, but Abdullah, did you get that or you didn't get that? See, you didn't get it. See? Who got it? Who's paying attention? No one's paying attention. No one. See? What did I say that was wrong, Dajun? What? What'd you say? Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Ashtidak. Yani, I think you're the only one that is ma'lug hina. Everyone else is like mtaffi or something. Patience in the Quran. Patience in the Quran. There are many verses in the Holy Quran that speak about patience. One of them is very known. All of us know it. وَبَشِّرَ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة. I'm going to mention one of the times where you need sabr is when dealing with a musibah. No one here has any guarantee that you will live for the next 24 hours, that your father, that your mother, that your brother, that your sister, that your child will live for the next 24 hours. Khatiya, wasn't it last week? 18-year-old Shab in Campbelltown. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Mother came to wake him up in the morning. He's dead. And there are many cases where there are people who don't have an underlying problem, but just out of nowhere, they pass this world. In their bed maybe, or in a freak accident maybe as well, car accident, It's happened so many times, sitting down, everyone's laughing, everyone's smiling, phone call comes, someone had a car accident and they died. So regularly it happens. Are you ready for that? How are you going to deal with that ordeal if it happens? Are you going to be the strong person in the family, or you're going to break apart and you're going to be the weak person in the family? You have to be very, very careful that you are not contributing to the fall apart, that you are someone who is empowering everyone and sabbering everyone as well, and saying, don't worry, it's okay, alhamdulillah, Allah gave us amana, but He took it back now. He is in a better place, she is in a better place, and that kind of hachi. You're going to be upset that you lost a child, that you lost a family member, that you lost a loved one, but you need to know that all of this for a reason. إنما يوفى الصابرين أجرهم بغير حساب. This is really, really important. بغير حساب. Yani there's no kind of boundary or limit for a person who is patient when it comes to dealing with God. Other terms for sabr. One is al-hilm, forbearance. Another is tahammul, tolerating. And another is poise or ittizan, having balance. And that's what I said in the definition. It's all about balance and moderation in staying calm and not becoming furious for no particular valid, real, genuine reason. That's why there's patience in masa'ib. I just mentioned that. I spoke about that. We have patience in ma'asiyah. You need to make sure that you have strong self-restraint, that you stay away from sin, and you're patient with that. And you're patient with that. And that you know that, yes, I can persevere. I'm patient. I'm patient. I will stay away from it. I'll stay away from it. I'll stay away from it. What? How long? Till when? Until needed. Because you're never going to give in, because you've learnt, you've taught yourself patience. Because you've taught yourself patience, and that's really important. You need to have a patience in ma'asiyah, yani in avoiding sin. You need to have patience in ta'ah, in obeying God, because you really need to be patient. So when you're fasting, don't you need to be patient when you're fasting? Wait until it's adhan. Wait until it's adhan. Wait until it's adhan. Adhan time comes. Wait until you finish your salah. Wait until you finish yours. Who doesn't pray before they eat? Maghrib to one person. Shame on you. Shame on you. That's why you wear black. Who else? Be honest. Who else prays and then eats? Who eats and then prays later on with a full stomach? Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Food shouldn't be already out. Food shouldn't be already out, yeah, mister. You should tell them salah comes first, and then ibadah comes first, and then akil. The only time where it's more mustahab for you to eat before your food, if someone else impatient is waiting for you, which is who? Right? Otherwise, it's never good to do ibadah on a full stomach. It's never good to do ibadah on a full stomach. Pray and you feel more relaxed. Until when you break your fast and you've added 8 kilos to your body, how are you going to fast with that? How are you going to pray after that? It's not easy. And so even if you pray quickly, it's better to pray on time. It's better to pray on time. Okay? So you need patience. In Hajj, for example, You've got these big people, I'm not going to say which nationality, African, they are walking next to you when you're doing your tawaf, and it dufrak minna, hits you right here. In your chest, in your collarbone, like it's about to break. Huh? Your collar? Your calf. Right? What are you going to do? You're going to turn around and give him, I've seen it myself, turn around and give him a box of ba'ana so your tawaf can be batil. You need patience. In ibadah, you need patience. When you're praying and someone abuses you, someone swears at you, you need patience. There's this clip on some guy on an airplane finishing off their salah, getting up and hitting the female stewardess. Have you seen that clip? Watch it. La'ad al-salah, where did the salah go, la'ad? If you just hit this lady, maybe she deserved it. Maybe she genuinely deserved it. Maybe she was saying, sir, you can't pray here, sir, you can't pray here. And she was mocking him, maybe. Maybe. He shouldn't be praying there. If someone's told him you can't pray there, you break your salah and you move away. It's haram for you to be interrupting other people. Find the right place. You can't be praying when the time when they're subbing the akil, for example, in the plane. Right? But patience is very, very important for you to have patience in ibadah. For ibadah and for what happens before ibadah and what happens after ibadah. You need to be very, very patient. So patient in calamities, patient in sin. Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salam, look at the patience that he had. He knew that they were conspiring against him. He knew that they wanted to ruin his reputation. And they were all, the women of the Medina, they were all in their prime age, best age, models. Do I need to describe anything any further? And yet, when Imra'atul Aziz, when the wife of the king, she made this plot to get all the women who, they were mocking her and saying, well, what's so fascinating about him and whatnot. Look at all the opportunities that Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salam had. And look what God gave to him. And when she said, قَالَ هَيْتَ لَكَ, Nabiullah Yusuf, what did he say? قَالَ مَعَاذَ اللَّهِ. And that's what we need to do. We need to say, مَعَاذَ اللَّهِ. I've mentioned this story before, and I'll mention it again. There was this man who was a very simple man. He was a bazzaz. Bazzaz means selling. He used to sell qimash, sell fabric, like spotlights. And he used to go with his arabana. You know how people have arabana, go around house to house selling their fabric. This lady, she opened the door and she said, yeah, I'd like to buy a lot of fabric from you. Come inside. He came inside and she closed the door. She locked the door. She said, you're not coming. You're not going out until me and you ithrid with some kebab together. He said, Yaba, addili, beddili, change your, I'm not going to do this, whatnot. She said, no, door's locked. There's no way out. There's no way out. He said, okay, let me go to the bathroom and let me freshen myself up for the tharid. Let me go to the bathroom and let me freshen myself up. He went to the bathroom. He put his hand in the toilet, ajallakum Allah, and he covered himself with najasa. He walked out. She screamed. She said, "You filthy person." She ran to the door, unlocked the door. He walked out. Because of what he did, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him something the same as what he gave Nabiullah Yusuf. Ta'wilul ahlam, interpreting of dreams, which he didn't know before. And until this day, everyone refers back to his book for interpreting of dreams. Ibn Sirin, if you've heard his name. That's what God gives you if you have patience. So when we say, Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin, that really is the case. What are the different types of patience? In times of difficulty, you call it sabr. When at times of war, you need to make sure that you have sabr and patience, and that's called shuja'ah. When you want to suppress your anger and you don't want to react in a bad way, it's called hilm and forbearance. Not hilm as in dream. And the other word is not jibn as in cheese, jubn as in being a coward. In a sad event, you need to have sa'at sadr, rahib sadr, rahamakumullah. Make sure that you are really forbearing and, as the word says, magnanimous. All right? I just copied, pasted that word. I've never pronounced it in my life. In withholding words, kitman, a mu'min, the sign of a mu'min is that they do a lot of kitman, concealing of information and news. And the opposite is just announcing everything and talking everything. Intentionally sinning, jur'ah, audacity. You need to have patience in that. Being in control, qana'a, being content, qana'a. And the opposite of qana'a is sharah, that you have no boundaries and you want everything. Ainak wants everything that it sees. That's why the Quran says, La tamuddanna aynaik. Don't keep on, looking around here and there for more and more and more. Okay, you've got an Adidas t-shirt. Why are you looking for this? Why are you looking for Nike? Why are you looking for Emirates? No need. Not wanting anything more in life. Very simple. They call it zuhud and zahid. And the opposite of that is haris. Hirs. Hirs means you want everything. You want to control everything. And very greedy. Another word for avarice is greedy as well. And so a result of patience is being kind as well. Because a sabur person, you'll never see harm from a sabur, a patient person. وَجَزَاهُمْ, look at the ayah. وَجَزَاهُمْ بِمَا صَبَرُوا جَنَّةً وَحَرِيرًا. وَجَزَاهُمْ بِمَا صَبَرُوا. Because of their patience, they'll be getting a lot of Jannah and a lot of harir. What does harira here mean? Silk, huh? What's silk got to do with heaven? Ma'dan. Patience towards what you like. What you like. You all like money. If you say that you don't like money, you're akbar chadhab. We all like money. We have to be patient and we have to make sure that we get it the right way. Status. We all like status. We all like being the person at the front who gives the orders and the commands and do this and don't do that and get this and don't get that. and wake up for Fajr and stand in line and you do this and you do that. We all know that kind of a person, right? Maqam or kursi is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous because it changes people. Status changes people. Power changes people. Power changes people. You might have power just over your family members, but it changes you into a very bad person. And that's why someone who really, really is fearing of God will never, ever change, even if they are thrown into a position of power. They'll still be the same person with their values, their exact same values, and they wouldn't change. Marriage, being very patient. Children, having za'atit, being very patient. You have to be very patient when it comes to children as well. When it comes to interacting with them, when it comes to disciplining with them. What I see in a lot of cases, children are disciplined or hit not for the sake of discipline, but out of anger. Out of anger. Which is very bad, which means that they don't have patience. And I'm losing my patience with you in the front. He's watching a game. Are you watching a game, Ali? What is it? International what? Break? So what are you watching then? Huh? What? Turn it over. Turn it over. Alhamdulillah, why? وقع حاجة أبو عبد الله زي ترى صيحة ترى. وقع حاجة حج صلاح is nice, but حاج أبو عبد الله يفيدك. Watching a game بنص البرنامج. Shame on you. Let's read this ayah. كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى. When you feel that you have some kind of status or money or this or that, you start thinking that you are above everyone, that you are above the law. And this is also very, very dangerous. And that's why here it says the most difficult of patience is things that we are inclined towards, things that we like, things that we want. That is really, really dangerous. Dangerous in ta'ah. I already spoke about that. Please read this very quickly. Dangerous in ma'asiyah. I spoke about that. Dangerous, patience in what you don't have control over. Like ibtila. Allah yubtilik with something, with a marad, with a sickness, with a loss in the family, with a natural disaster, whatever it may be. And that's why there's this beautiful hadith Qudsi. What is a hadith Qudsi? Hadith Qudsi is something said by God but not a part of the Quran. In this hadith Qudsi, Rasulullah says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذَا وَجَّهْتُ إِلَىٰ عَبْدٍ مِّنْ عَبِيدِي مُصِيبَةٍ. If I direct a calamity, a misfortune, a bad happening to one of my servants, في بدنه, in their body, أو ماله, or in their wealth, أو ولده, or in their children, ثم استقبل ذلك بصبر جميل, and they retaliate. Their reaction to this calamity is they have beautiful patience. استحييت منه, I become shy, and I am shy towards that person يوم القيامة, on judgment day, and أنصب له ميزانا أو أنشر له ديوانا, for me to bring out his book of deeds. I'm going to be too shy to bring out his book of deeds. So I'm going to say, Bismillah, go ahead. Why? Because I've already inflicted that calamity onto this person, and the way he reacted was not losing patience, but having beautiful patience. And that's why even with patience, there are different levels of patience. Real patience, which is what we all have somehow. But patience with rida, patience with content, is what we really, really need to work on. That you don't even think about objecting to what it is that God does to you. That you don't even need to think twice about if someone does something bad to you, because you have patience. And patience with mahabba, patience with love. And that's really difficult to get to. What about as-sabrul madhmoom? Bad patience. Yani patience that you shouldn't have patience in these situations. There shouldn't be patience. One example is when you get sick, you need to be patient. When you get sick, you need to be patient. But not getting sick and knowing that there's a cure for your sickness, but saying, no, I'd rather be patient. No, that's not how it works, excuse me. If you're sick and there is a ilaj, there is a cure for your sickness, and you can go to the tabib, you can go to the doctor, go. You have to. So there's no such thing as patience here. Someone takes something from you and you say, okay, I'm going to be patient. No, that's not how it is. In normal circumstances, that's not how it is. Yes, you don't go to their house and burn it down and do this and do that and do this. No, it needs to be done in the right way, in the wise way. You need to have that level of dealing. But haqq, if it's haqq, whatever it may be, you need to demand it, either physically or verbally or through qanoon, through law, whatever it may be. You can't be and you should not be patient in that area. Patience when you are poor, no. And you want to be rich and you say, oh, well, I'll just wait until God gives me a rizq. No, excuse me, that's not how it works. If you want to get an income, if you want rizq, if you want sustenance, if you want barakah, you got to move your hips. Yeah. As khuda barakat, as to harakat. What does that mean, Ya Ali? Do you know what it means? صاير بلبل بالفارسي انت. No, that's not how it is, Ali. اسكت Ali. يسوي حركة. Okay, hadiths from Imam Ali alayhi salam. He says, الصبر من الإيمان بمنزلة الرأس من الجسد. Patience, when you compare it or in relation to Iman, is like a head to a body. Can you have someone living without a head? No, you can't. So the head, without the head, you have no existence. Without sabr, you have no iman. As-sabru min al-iman, sabr in relation to faith is like a head in relation to the rest of your body. Who said you can live without a head? Chicken cans. Chicken cans. Alayka bis-sabr. See, that's why I need a lot of sabr when I'm dealing with these people. Alayka bis-sabr. Be patient. Wal-ihtimal. Ihtimal means tahammul and tolerant. فمن لزمها هانت عليه المحن. So whoever adheres to being tolerant and patient, all problems will be very, very hayyin. And what's hayyin mean? Easy. هانت عليه المحن. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says, من ابتلي من المؤمنين, whoever from the believers is inflicted ببلاء, with a calamity, with a test, with a problem, فصبر عليه, and you are patient towards it, كان له مثل أجر ألف شهيد. كان له مثل أجر ألف شهيد. You will have the reward of 1,000 martyrs if you are patient. فإن الله مع الصابرين. والحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين.